Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Brunner. It's a great pleasure for me to present the INTERPLAN project on an integrated network operation planning tool as technical coordinator of the project. It's about providing a tool or a prototypical tool set in order to allow mainly network operators in future to do a system-wide operational planning in face of all the challenges we expect in 2030 plus, so by introducing, for instance, renewables, other enabling technologies. And integrated, we mean in terms of bridging all voltage levels from transmission to distribution, integrating several stakeholders, integrating controls and static planning, so bridging this as well, providing all information about the future controls and scenarios in the tool. So it is a planning tool, operational planning tool, bridging the interfaces between TSO and DSO. And in this research project, it's a prototypical application based on Dixieland Power Factory and Python. So in order to do so, the first step in the project was to agree with the stakeholders on different use cases to be covered by the planning tool, as well as planning criteria which need to be followed by the applicant of the tool. And that has been transferred into several showcases. So the use cases, for instance, it is a coordinated voltage reactive power control between TSO and DSO. It is, for instance, future inertia management, but much more. So we developed 7 of them. And there is a reasonable amount of planning criteria, which is the meaning of the investigation. So what do we want to ensure in future? It is, for instance, frequency stability. That is, for instance, assuring voltage stability by introducing control concepts, and we developed within the project itself. So what is the tool about? So it consists of 3 steps. The first step is actually for the user to decide what is the purpose of an investigation, what is the planning criteria I want to meet, what are the key performance indicators related to that, and also what are the future scenario, which I assume, for instance, in inertia, a high share of power electronics based generation in the system. So that is the first part, preparing the scene. What do I want to investigate, and what are the future scenarios? The second important step is to integrate grid models that can be both real networks which are available by the user, or in terms of cooperation, that was one part of the project, to define grid equivalents. So to have representative grids available if I want to investigate grids which are not in my supply area as a network operator. And we called it grid equivalent, so representative grids which are generated by the tool. The third step is then basically executing and performing the simulation by integrating also the INTERPLAN solutions, the control approaches in order to overcome different problems, for instance, voltage or inertia in the system, and do simulation as long as the key performance indicators are not met, and if yes, then it's finalized and we find a solution for the future operational planning of the system, and if not, of course, other means of investigations are needed. So what we were able in the project is to develop this prototypical tool set. It has been successfully utilized along the different showcases and use cases, together also with the discussions of the stakeholders. The control logics have been developed and enabled the integration of emerging technologies and renewables in future systems. Even by meeting then the planning criteria we integrated in the tool. So the feasibility of the tool is given and has been demonstrated, and which is quite successful for us in the project as well. We have a very positive feedback from stakeholders, mainly grid stakeholders. The final step of the project is now the toolset validation. Until early next year, in January next year, the project will be finalized. with a public report, of course, as well. And we will continue the interaction to bring these INTERPLAN toolset from the research project on a rather lower TRL level, namely 5, towards a commercialization, together with grid stakeholders and software members. More information on the project and all details you can find on the INTERPLAN project website. So again, thank you very much for listening.